know about you guys, but I don't have time in the morning to be making super elaborate breakfast. However, I do like eating something that's gonna leave me feeling full and nourished throughout the morning. That's why in today's episode, I'm gonna show you how to make some of my favorite breakfast recipes, which are high in protein and only take 5 minutes to make. We are starting off with my personal favorite, and that is a vegan omelet. I'm not lying, this is seriously so good. The key here is using chickpea flour. It gives such a nice consistency and contains more than 7 grams of protein on its own in this dish. Then we're adding black salt or kala namak, which is so important because it gives it an eggy flavor. You can use regular salt, but I highly recommend the black salt. Then we add 1/4 of a teaspoon of turmeric for color, along with its health benefits, and 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast, which gives it a slightly cheesy flavor and also contains 5 grams of protein in 1 tablespoon. Then you just mix it all together and then add the water. Then you use a whisk to mix it all together so it gets nice and combined. Here I add some black pepper. It's important to do that when you use turmeric because it helps the absorption of the turmeric. Then I like adding spinach to this just because it's an easy way to add something green. I just give it a rough chop and add it directly to the batter and mix it all in. I like it like this, but you could also use it as a filling if you prefer. Then you just heat some oil in a nonstick pan and add the batter and spread it all out so it is all even. Then you're going to let it cook for about 3 to 4 minutes on one side. I like putting a lid on the top because then it helps it to cook more evenly. Then I remove the lid and add some vegan cheese on one side so that it gets all nice and melty in there. And then once you can slide your spatula under one side easily, just flip over one side and let it cook for a couple more minutes. This omelet is seriously so perfect. I like to eat it not only for breakfast, but also lunch some days. You have to try it. Now on to my smashed bean and avocado toast. First, I toast 2 pieces of whole grain bread. I like the kind that has extra seeds in it, which adds more protein. And then I take a 1/2 cup of white beans and add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, a pinch of salt, and a few good cracks of black pepper. Then I just smash it up with a fork so it forms like a paste. And I spread that evenly on the toast. Then I cut an avocado. I usually use half for both pieces of toast, but then I added a little bit more this time because my avocado was small. Then I just add some salt, pepper, and I mash that up and add some lemon juice for a nice zing and smashed it up a bit more. Then I spread it on top of the bean mixture. I like drizzling the top with some olive oil and then sprinkling some sesame seeds on top along with some chili flake. The chili flake really adds a lot here. I also added some cilantro here because I just happened to have some on hand and it added a really nice freshness. And now for Old Faithful, a super high protein bowl of oatmeal. I like to use 1/2 cup of rolled oats, then 3 different kinds of seeds, which are all really high in protein and fats to help keep you full. I use ground flax, chia seeds, along with hemp seeds. Then I add 1 cup of soy milk. Soy and pea milks have the most protein of all plant-based milks, which is why soy is my go-to. Then I just add a splash of vanilla, which I really think adds a lot to oatmeal. Then I add a 1/2 banana into the oatmeal so that it sweetens as it cooks. And then I let it cook uncovered for a few minutes while stirring occasionally until it thickens up nicely. And then I just add a little bit more milk if it gets too thick. I like to top it off with any fresh fruit that I have on hand. This time I just topped it off with some banana, fresh strawberries, and blueberries. I love putting nut butter on the top. It is not only delicious, but also adds more protein to help you stay full. And lastly, I just added some agave syrup to add a touch of sweetness, but you could also use maple syrup if you prefer. Okay guys, so which one of these breakfast recipes is your favorite? You gotta let me know in the comments. If I had to choose, it would have to be the chickpea omelet. I'm like really obsessed with that one. I really hope you guys liked today's episode. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and we will see you next time.